and welcome to another episode of Unlock the CPA Exam Show. This is your host, Ala'a Abu Dayyeh, and today we have with us Rob Premselaar. Rob has been practicing CPA since 2011. His career as a CPA has taken him through the Big Four KPMG, where he was for 7 years in the audit practice. Then, he was a director of internal audit at a Fortune 50 pharmaceutical company performing internal audits all across the globe. Currently, Rob is a tax accountant at a local firm managing his own book of tax and financial statement accounts, primarily of business and individual clients. 4.5 years ago, Rob started tutoring and instructing students for the CPA exam. In those 4.5 years, it has blossomed from a side hustle to a serious and developing business of his, though still a side hustle. His basis for CPA instruction comes from him passing all 4 parts of the exam in 8 weeks and on his first try. In the last year, Rob has transitioned his side hustle into a legit business called Quest CPA Review. You can catch him on Instagram at Quest CPA Review or www.questcpareview.com, where he posts CPA exam videos, multiple choice questions, and tips. In addition, Rob is an instructor for CPA Review for Free. Rob's involvement with CPA Review for Free is to be the instructor that brings the material to life. He is also building a portfolio of video responses that directly respond to his here to help you with those struggling questions. There's one thing that Rob is, and that's a CPA, and he really enjoys it too. Welcome, Rob, and thank you for being with us today. And I really appreciate your time with us today, and I'm very excited to hear from you today.
Hey, Ala'a, thanks for having me. I think what you're doing is fantastic with your new social media page and trying to do this 21-day webinar series. I'm thrilled to be able to participate. I'm thrilled that I can help you with your channel, and also students can get to know me through your channel as well. I'm a tutor and instructor for the CPA exam and all accounting really, and also a CPA career coach, and a guidance counselor in that realm. So anyway, you have given me a list of questions here that I've printed off, and I think we're ready. I think we're ready to roll. So go ahead.
Great. Okay. So my first question to you today is, do you think becoming a CPA is an important step in the life of any accountant, and why?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you want to be a professional accountant, then yes, becoming a CPA, a certified professional accountant, right? Big word. You want to be a professional accountant, you want to become certified. Yes, it is important. Now, why? From a compliance reason, right? If you want to sign tax returns, if you want to issue financial statements, audits, reviews, compilations, you must be a CPA. Now, you can issue tax returns in the United States. Right? This is the US CPA. You don't have to be a CPA. You could be an enrolled agent, or you can be a tax preparer who can't sign tax returns. But the moral of the story is, yes, CPA is important in the life of any accountant. Why else? Career opportunities. I figured when I went for my CPA or down that accounting route, I felt like it was almost like getting an MBA. It was a resume builder, right? I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, still don't, right? But, when I was going on the accounting path, I said, well, even if I don't know what to do, eventually want to do, at least it sets me up for a life in business. And lucky enough, I had the time in my life. It was good for me to take a step back and go after the examination process, which is, as all the students watching now, it's not fun. But I had some time where I could get that done. And so I said, you know what? This is a resume builder. And it is. The CPA is for surely a resume builder. And the last one that I have is having your CPA, it makes you a trusted advisor. You can be an advisor almost anytime or in any capacity, but the CPA is one of the most trusted advisors out there. Everybody knows how much schooling and, the 150 credits or the 120, how many courses you have to take in the examination process. So just having the CPA, it makes you a trusted advisor. Now, before everybody watching, cuts off the videos and goes to run to apply to become a CPA, I don't want everybody to stop, drop, and roll because go become a CPA. If you don't know what you want to do, that's fine. The CPA might not be the answer for you. It was a good answer for me. It's a good answer for some others. But if you don't know what you want to do, I don't want somebody to potentially waste their time on going through such a grueling process. So listen to what I have to say, but it's not all these are must-dos, okay? So it's okay not to know what you want to do. But if you do want to become a professional accountant, yes, becoming a CPA is important. So.
Yeah, clear. Yeah, of course. And also I hear from a lot of CPAs that becoming a CPA gave them the opportunity to live the lifestyle they want. So do you agree with this sentence? Like, do you believe in this also?
I mean, versus what? I mean, again, what do you want to do? If you want to become a restaurant owner and live that lifestyle, no, a CPA is not for you. If you want to go trade stocks and be a finance person, maybe a CPA is for you. Maybe the CFA is for you, or maybe if you're just day trading stocks, honestly, neither is really necessary. So you really have to think about what you want to do. But in terms of lifestyle, the CPA does have a very seasonal lifestyle. The one thing I do like about CPA, for the most part, compared to I had a prior career, is it's very predictable. On April 15th, I know my wife and I don't bother me for the 10 weeks before April 15th. And when we first started dating, she asked me, well, can we go away on February 20th? This was like months ahead of time. I said, no. She goes, what do you mean no? How do you know you're going to be busy? Well, it's because every year we're busy at the same time. But April 16th, we have our free calendar. So, I do like the lifestyle of the CPA. Again, if that's not the lifestyle you want to lead or live, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is a decent lifestyle, though it is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good because we know the busy season when the busy season ends, and that will give us chances to prepare for our vacations and plan ahead, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Some of you listening who are with the Big Four and saying, I have many busy. Yeah, I've been there, done that. But for the most part, most CPAs have a predictable calendar. So.
Great. Now, my second question to you today is, when do you think is the best time for people to pursue their CPA?
The sooner the better. And I would tell anybody that, but if somebody told me, well, I can't right now, I'd ask you why. Well, I have to finish my education. Okay, so you're not ready. I have a family commitment. Well, could we try to sprinkle in the CPA studying? If not, that's okay. But overall, the answer is, why wait? You're just going to learn more of a particular industry that you wish you had your CPA for. So I've had colleagues that I started with that thought they were going to get their CPA, jump to a different practice within the Big Four, and they never turned back, and now they regret not getting their CPA. So if you want to do something in the accounting profession but not sure exactly what, get your exam done as soon as possible. Give up your vacations and your family time. I know it stinks and it's not fun, but it'll be worth it in the end. So I guess, the quick answer to this is the sooner the better.
I totally agree with you because really, like, the more we go in life, the more our responsibilities increase, and it becomes harder to study, really. So, the sooner people study for the CPA and finish this thing from their life, the more easier it will be for them, especially also for new graduates who already have the material fresh in their mind. So
Right.
it will be easier for them to study even, and everything will go smoother, right?
Right, and I'll stop you there. I'll give you a good reason. When I graduated college, I wasn't ready to take the exam. Why? I wanted to get one full year at KPMG in the Big Four, and I didn't want any distractions. I just wanted to learn my job. I was traveling around the United States a lot. I was probably on the road about 35-40% of the year, and I wanted to have fun when I went away. Right? I wanted to go to ball games, and I was in Los Angeles, and I wanted to go to other ball games all across the country, right? And I worked late, and I said to myself, the sooner the better, yes, but I'm planning now to not take the exam, but to take it in a year from now. So if we almost were to redo that question, when do you think is the best time for people to pursue their CPA? I would say maybe not the sooner the better, but the sooner you plan when you will take the exam, the better. The sooner that you plan, the better. You might plan to take it tomorrow, or you might start studying for it tomorrow, or you might say, I have family responsibilities and I can only get to them in a year from now. But the sooner you plan, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. So my next question now is, what do you think is the best order to take the CPA exam?
So this is a very common question, probably one of the most common questions that students ask. There is no order that is a must. So I'm going to give you my suggestion, or what I advise most students to do. That doesn't mean if you're watching at home and you're already studying and it doesn't agree with my suggestion, I don't want you to stop what you're doing. This is primarily for somebody who hasn't even started reading one book yet for the exam. So what I'll say is, and I made little note cards here, always take FAR before audit. Okay? Why? FAR teaches you about the financial accounts. It teaches you about what? Cash, AR, inventory, PP&E, cost of goods sold, goodwill, pensions. And then in audit, you audit those financial accounts, right? So in auditing, right, you're trying to audit if the numbers are complete, exist, accurate, valued appropriately, presented appropriately. But you really need to, at first, in your belly, you need to understand how the accounts work. For you to audit something, you have to know how that account works. If you want to audit a process, you can't tell somebody it's wrong without knowing the process, right? So learn the account first and then audit it, okay? So that doesn't mean I say take this first and second, or second and third, or third and fourth. What I'm saying is take FAR before audit, okay? So I'm going to put these down. Now we have two others. We have Reg and we have BEC. Now, what I typically say is take BEC first. People will say, oh, you're right, because it's the easiest. And I hate when students say it's the easiest. It's not the easiest. When people say BEC is the easiest and FAR is the hardest, that means, oh, I don't have to work that hard on BEC. No. You still have to work your tail off very hard to pass this exam. But what I will say is BEC is a smaller textbook than FAR, okay? So it takes less time to study BEC than it does for FAR. That's all the difference is. Again, it's not easy, It just takes less time. Why? Because the book is thinner. And all of you sitting at home with your textbooks are real, oh yeah, it's smaller, but I still do not want you to say, oh, smaller means easier. It's not. So, but what I'll say is BEC, take it first, get your feet wet in the amount of hours you're going to have to study. Then we have, hopefully you guys are looking at it right, we have FAR and audit. Now, do we take this second and third or third and fourth, right? Where are we going to put reg? At the end or towards the beginning? Here's what I'll say. Most accounting professionals coming out, or CPA candidates coming out of school, are going to go down one of two routes. Most, not all. The audit or the tax, right? If they're going to teach you tax, right? You're going to become a tax professional and you know nothing about tax, take tax last. Let them teach it to you, right?
Yeah.
You don't, if I was a tax professional, which I am, and somebody said, oh, I already took the CPA reg first, I'm a better accountant. No, not necessarily. I don't care what order that they take the exam in, but you know, if they're going to teach you tax, take as much time as possible and do reg last. The similar with audit. If you're going to become an auditor, let them teach you auditing. So take that maybe third and fourth and put reg second, okay? So that's the kind of basics. And now you also have to plan it as to the calendar, right? If you have vacations or you have holidays or you have busy season, you also have to consider that as well. But barring any of that, my typical suggestion is BEC, FAR, audit, and reg. If you're a tax professional, if you're an audit professional, BEC, reg, FAR, and then take audit last. So that is that answer.
That's awesome, really, and very helpful. Really, it's mainly common sense. Yeah. So that's how it should be. It should work. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and I really want students and CPA candidates take advantage of their jobs. Learn auditing through what you're getting paid to do, right?
Exactly.
And so by the time I took audit, I was almost 2 years in as an auditor. I didn't just memorize. I knew what completeness meant, existence, accuracy, occurrence, present. I actually knew it because I've been doing it for the last 2 years rather than just reading a textbook and memorizing it. So I did it part of my day-to-day, and so that's why I chose to do audit last.
Yes, great. My next question is, what are your tips and advice for candidates during their preparation for the CPA exam in order to be ready and pass this exam on their first try?
This is another good one. Another big hitting question. Your goal while studying is to not get questions right. It is. Mm-hmm. But your goal, your primary job while studying is to identify the questions you get wrong. You want to identify holes. You want to identify cavities or root canals. You want to identify problems. Why? So you can identify them today, fill them in before you get to test day, right? So I know it's mostly, I got to learn it and then take the questions. You almost should look at it as, okay, I got all this stuff right. This is what I now found out what I need to focus on. I don't know this, so I need to go study that, right? So I tell students, be happy when you get a question wrong. Why? Because you got it wrong today and not tomorrow when you're taking the CPA exam. It seems kind of obvious, but I think if you change your intent and your purpose in studying, try to look for the weaknesses in your CPA exam material.
Yeah. So not about only getting the right answers, but what is most importantly is learning your mistakes and knowing why you got this wrong, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. You know, finding your problem and ask yourself, if they asked me, read the book, and if they asked you a question on that page, would you get everything wrong? Don't ask yourself what you do know.
yeah, yeah,
Ask yourself what you don't know. And
exactly.
then make sure you do know it.
Yeah,
Right? So it seems a little backwards, but it kind of makes sense. And if you set yourself up to say, okay, I need to, today I'm sitting down, I need to figure out what material don't I know, and then go learn it.
yes, exactly. Studying the weak areas will help a lot in increasing the scores and improving the performance, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. No, exactly. No, that's right. That's right.
yes, great. Now, the next question is, how much time does each part need for studying, and how should candidates allocate this time, like per week, especially for the working CPA
Yeah. Yeah.
candidates?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is a tough one because everybody's a different type of studier. But for most students, and other people have family responsibilities. They might have children or a
yeah,
spouse or whatever. Um, Weeknight studying is good, but it's not great. We
yeah,
all work very hard during the week. We all have different distractions. And an accountant, we're constantly reading and writing numbers. We're always, not even just numbers, writing memos, reading papers, white papers, and analysis and all that stuff. Your brain is tired, and physically you're tired.
yeah,
So, yes, study during the week, but really, the weekends are key. Um, and what I would say is, if you can get 20 hours of studying in a weekend, and I know that's a lot, but if you want to pass, you got to make sacrifices. 20 hours a week of studying is better, way better than 22-hour days. So if you were to study 2 hours a day for 20 days, I think you're going to get more value out of 2 10-hour days. Why? Because for that weekend, that Saturday and Sunday, you are fully embraced
yeah,
in this material. Try to limit your distractions as much as possible.
yeah,
And I feel like, if you sit down at 7 p.m. at night, your mind's racing with work, and you got the ball game on, and you got this, and kids maybe, and what spouse and all that. But I think the weekend is key. Now, how many weekends do you need? Well, that really all depends on you, on how many weeks, how many chapters can you get through in a week. So I think overall, tough question to answer. But what I would suggest students to do is find in their calendar full days that they could study,
yeah, yeah.
full weekends, maybe take time off, maybe study surrounding a holiday.
That's great, great. My next question to you is, what are your tips and advice for the day of the exam?
So 3 things: sleep, hydrate, and caffeinate. Don't
Yeah,
go over and don't go under. Don't oversleep, you're going to be late. Don't
yeah,
undersleep, you're going to be tired. Your brain's not going to work. Don't overhydrate, because then you're going to be going to the bathroom during the exam. Don't
yeah,
underhydrate, because you're going to be like me and be thirsty the whole time. Don't over caffeinate, because then you're going to be like this, during the exam. And don't under caffeinate, because you're going to be sleeping, right? So
yeah,
that's what I say. Take care of your body all throughout studying and on the day of the exam. Don't kill yourself from a sleep perspective. Make sure you're sleeping and eating correctly. And what I would also say is, on the day of the exam, uh, bring with you, I'm still working on what to call these, but almost notes that are outside the exam door. So right outside the exam door, what do you quickly, I'll use these note cards again, what's the material that you're just quickly browsing through? Take that material with you. Typically, what I would recommend is put material on here that you didn't understand, that you just memorized. If you understand it, it shouldn't be that tough. But if there's certain material, formulas, abbreviations, different ways to do problems, and if you, for some reason, you don't understand them, memorize them and bring them with you on the outside the door notes. And then when you're literally, I did that. When you're walking in, you're just like, you know, you're constantly like that. That's what I would suggest to bring with you. So.
Yes. Yeah, that's extremely important, especially like the day of the exam. I feel a lot of candidates, they're like very stressed and scared, and maybe they did not sleep well. And a lot of people also, I find that they are like killing themselves too much. They're like studying too much the night before the exam. I don't know why. Like they're trying to use every minute to study.
Right.
Do you recommend like this? Do you like see it a good practice to like study a lot the night before the exam, or like let your brain like relax a little bit?
I studied a lot before my exam.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think by about 12 hours, 12 to 18 hours before your exam, you should be memorizing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not just learning. If you haven't learned a topic by now because it just doesn't sit well with you, if you don't understand it, you tried to listen to the videos, read the book, you came to your tutor and he can't explain it to you, it's time to memorize. And about a half a day to 3/4, or maybe even a full day before, you should start the items to memorize. Or not start, but really hone in and make sure you memorize all the material that you need to memorize, because that other stuff just doesn't make sense. But you can still get the exam correct, a question on the exam, if you were to memorize it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. My next question is, what are your tips for candidates to increase their CPA exam score throughout multiple choice questions?
So, multiple choice questions are the single reason you're going to pass the exam. Now, your books and videos are important, but they're not going to take you nearly to the score that you need to pass the exam. Multiple choice questions will get you, I think the book can get you just to like in my mind, maybe a 40%. But to get to that 75 or higher, that's going to be the multiple choice that's going to get you there. Now, the other opportunity, the other test area are the simulations. I think the simulations are very overrated. Why? Because if you stink at doing sims, it's because you stink at the material that the simulation was testing you on. I think simulations take a lot of time during the study process. I'm not saying don't do them, but what I'm saying is multiple choice questions should be the primary function of you studying after you've gone through the videos and the books. Why? Because again, like I said before, your job is to find material that you don't know how to do. And multiple choice questions are going to lead you down that path. Hey, do you know how to do this? Yep, done. Hey, do you know how to do this? No, got it wrong. Do I know why I got it wrong? Yep, okay, I won't make that mistake again. Gone. Then, multiple choice. Oh, I don't know why I got it wrong. Oh, I got it wrong. I don't know why I got it wrong. Now that gives you your next study area. The multiple choice questions, again, are leading that path to finding out where you have holes in your ability to pass the exam. And then they fill in the answers too. So it gives you 4 answer choices, 1 of which is correct and 3 that are incorrect. So ask yourself, why is that 1 correct? But then, why are the other 3 wrong? So a multiple choice question is so powerful because it gives you 1 right answer, but it also shows you how they also could ask you a question and for you to get a wrong answer. So multiple choice questions are, again, the reason you will pass. Because again, even if you went through the books very quickly, if you go through the multiple choice questions, it'll tell you, oh, you don't know. Now go back into the book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and I don't want people to go through the book so slowly and slow and slow. Because what's going to happen is you're going to forget a lot of the material anyway. Right? Think about FAR. It could be 10 chapters this big.
Exactly.
You're going to forget a lot of that material. So why don't you go at it at a healthy pace, not fast, but not slow. Get to the multiple choice, and then it tells you, hey, you know this, 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 and this, but you don't know this and this. Now go back to the book, or go back to the video, or go back to your tutor. The multiple choice, again, are that powerful because they're going to tell you where you need help.
Great. Yeah, exactly. And also, what about time management? What is your advice when it comes to managing time when it comes to multiple choice questions?
In terms of on the exam?
Yeah, and solving those questions, yeah.
Yeah, so what I say is read the last sentence first. Why? Yeah. Because if you start from the top and go down, you don't know what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you start from the last question, the last sentence, and now now I know I've done this problem before, or I know what they're looking for. Now when you go through the problem, it's like a big paragraph. You jot down what the information from that question, because you already know what the question is. Because if you go through from the top to the bottom, you're going to read it again, guaranteed. But if you read the last sentence first, you're only going to read it once. So that's the big piece of advice there. Also, in terms of multiple choice questions, it seems obvious, but pay attention to names of companies and pay attention to dates. Very, very, very important. Is the question asking you for the payable as of December 31, year 1, December 31, year 2, June 30th, year 2? Is it asking you for the expense for the last 12 months, the last 3 months, the last 6 months? I see a lot of students, they try to go so fast, and then they think, oh, it's for the year, right? They're asking me for the year ended, for the expense, and they went so fast, and they saw the answer was correct, but really the question asked them for the 3 months ended, and so there was another answer choice that showed them there, and so they get that. They think that they got the question right, but really they got the question wrong because they read too fast. So that's another multiple choice management suggestion.
Yeah, great. That's really very helpful, really. And I hear also, like, based on what I find, is that the first testlet usually comes like medium difficulty, right? And if the candidates do good, the next one will be harder. Do you know something like this? Or
yeah. So there's typically 3 testlets.
Yeah.
And I remember was taking FAR, and the last testlet was so hard.
Yeah.
And that meant that I was doing pretty good.
That's really very helpful. My next question now is, what is your advice for candidates who failed the exam once or more? And how will they be able to overcome the exam failure?
So this is probably the hardest thing for me to answer for a student, or because it's probably the hardest thing for a student to deal with. Let's say you got a 65 or a 70 or a 74. You obviously know material.
Yeah.
But you obviously missed it by a couple questions. So do you study all of the material again? No, right? It's just, I mean, you could, but it could be a waste of time. Or do you study a little bit? Well, the thing is, how do you know where you need help? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, again, it's all about finding the holes in your material. So what I suggest is, I don't have a book with me, but it's crazy. And I did this actually the 2 days before my exam, but I tell all my students who have just failed an exam, I tell them this: open the index of your textbook. Crazy, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Who reads an index, right? But I'm gonna tell you, right? It's crazy. Take a red pen, and through each topic, take 2, 3, 4 hours, and write. Oh, do you know this? Don't I know it? Put a circle. And if you know a certain topic, and you ask yourself, if they ask me a question about this, will you get it right? You know in your stomach. Don't lie to yourself. Be truthful and write a check. Okay, good. If you don't know a certain topic, I don't know, FIFO or LIFO or cost, put an O. Now you've gone through the whole textbook. You now have built your lesson plan or your agenda for not studying from the beginning, but to restudy for your exam again, right? So it's a process. It's very detailed, but it's a process to identify where you make mistakes and then to fill them in afterwards.
Yes, great. Yeah, that's very helpful, really. Well, thank you, Rob, for being with us today. I'm really thankful for you for being with us today. And we just have a few minutes left for this interview. And I want to let the audience know that you have offered a free gift to help them pass their CPA exam. So can you tell us a bit more about the free gift that you are offering?
Yeah, so the free gift comes from CPA Review for Free. So to give you a little bit, let's take a step back. CPA Review for Free is a place where students can go to get some more questions, multiple choice questions, and simulations. There's 2 types of memberships. There's a free membership that gets you access to 1,000 multiple choice questions. And there is a paid membership for $37 a month. You get access to 4,200 multiple choice questions, access to a message board, access to practice exams. And so the gift that CPA Review for Free is giving all your listeners is 1 free month. CPA Review for Free is not really there to replace your core study materials. It's not going to replace, you know who they are. You know who you're studying with, all right? I'm not going to say their names. It's there to get you over the hump. And so what I bring to CPA Review for Free is I am their instructor, and I have an instructor profile on there. And so I can message back with you if you have a question on the message board. If it's a good question and it can help other students, I will respond back or maybe even do a video response. So that's what we're giving students, is 1 free month to CPA Review for Free. And that's my involvement as well with CPA Review for Free.
That's great. Thank you a lot for this. Thank you. Okay. Can you give us one last word for the CPA exam candidates?
Sure. So I want you all to remember, those who are struggling or those who feel like they're never going to pass, hear me out. The CPA exam does not test how smart you are. So if you passed all 4 parts in the first try, it doesn't test how smart you are. If you can't pass an exam or you're having trouble, that doesn't mean you're not smart. What that means is you're not studying the right way. All the CPA exam, or passing the CPA exam, it's a mental exercise. It's like going to the gym. So Ala'a, if you or me, if we want to bench press 350 pounds, can you do it today or can I do it today? No. But if you did it the right way and you practiced and you went to the gym the right way, right? If you just go to the gym and say, "Hi, I'm here," right? You're not going to get to you're not going to be able to achieve physical fitness a certain way, right? But if you set yourself up with the right situation and the right plan, I promise anybody can bench press 350 pounds. And the same goes for this. Again, it's not testing how smart you are. It's just testing you, have you studied the right way? And I just want to say one other thing before we go. The CPA it's not a certification to success. It doesn't automatically mean once you pass that that you're successful. You still have to work very hard. I think about it gives you a certification to work hard. And for you to become successful in any field, any industry, the certification is never going to be a golden ticket. It's just going to be on the path to get you to where you got to be. But what always you need is to work hard and work the right way. So that's what I will end with. And, it's not how smart you are, but it's how well that you studied and how hard that you work.
Great, and thank you for all your advice today and tips. And thank you today for being with us, and thank you for your time with us today, Rob. I really appreciate it, really.
Yeah, hey, Ala'a, thank you so much for having us. Looking forward to the 21-day webinar series. Thank you. Bye.